Hey fam, how you doing? Hey, a while back, Will Mitchell had said how LeadPages is no longer supporting domain masking, and I asked, why don't you just use dynamic HTML? I can make a quick video on it, and then John Norman actually kind of liked that little post and said, "This is great. Do you have a link to how you do this?" So this is this link. I'm not doing this out of ego. I'm actually, my heart is in the core value of document and share your knowledge. I have all of the digital marketer core values right there on my wall so I could look at them every day. So before I post, I read these to make sure that I'm not being a troll or running shenanigans. But sometimes I troll a little bit because I think it's an LOL. Okay, so we're just gonna get right into this, and I'm gonna show you how you just take a lead page, export the file to a HTML raw or dynamic, and then how you upload it. I'm gonna do cPanel for any of you. I have WP Engine. I use FileZilla to FTP it. If you know what that means, then you don't need to know the cPanel stuff. You're already savvy enough. All right? Stay tuned. Okay, great. So I'm not using my usual recording equipment. There may be a hum. I'm over it. I hope you get over it. Okay, I'm just at my desk right now. So now Will Mitchell a while back said that LeadPages no longer supports domain masking. And we had this great little conversation, and I was just saying, why don't you just use dynamic HTML rather than going through all that? We had a great little conversation here. And then I said that I could just make a little video on it. And then John Norman had said, hey, that would be amazing. So what I'm doing right now is I'm making this video not out of promoting anything, but under the core value, again, of document and share your knowledge. That's all I'm doing right now is I'm documenting and sharing my knowledge. So let's jump right into this. I'm going to be going over my good friend Eric Lofholm has, I'm using this as an example. So this is a lead page, but it's underneath this domain. This is not his domain. He's saleschampion.com. I'm just, again, this is my domain, dramaticallyincreasesales.com. I'm using this as an example. So he has this great looking lead page right here. And when you click on it, it will go to page 2. And we'll notice that page 2 is still underneath that domain. Now, I'm doing all of this without using domain masking, all right? I'm doing this using dynamic HTML. It's really simple. I'm going to go over it right now how to do this. So let's go back to page 1, and we'll look at page 1 right here. Looks like this, but you'll see it's automation rehab, LeadPages, and then it has his name. And then if you were to click on this, it would go to page 2, which looks like this. And this, of course, is page 2. But that says automation rehab LeadPages.co. So we want that not to show up, but this is going to show up as HTML. So let's see how to do this. Okay, first of all, when you're in LeadPages, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to download the HTML file. Now, one of the things that I'm going to show you right now is I'm going to show you how to download dynamic versus raw or static HTML. And then we're going to upload those files into our servers, okay? So right here, there's many ways that you can get here. You can click on the edit button, but I'm going to click on these 3 little buttons right here, or ellipsis. I'm going to click on that. I'm going to go to Publishing Options. When I click on that, I have these 3 tabs right here, all this great stuff, ninja stuff right here. I'm going to go WordPress HTML. And you'll notice I have download dynamic HTML. So this is the HTML I'm talking about. So when I download this file and it's an HTML file, what's going to happen there is anytime I update this lead page, it's going to change on the internet underneath the domain name that I choose. So again, using this dynamic HTML, any time that I change it in LeadPages, it will change on the internet. Now, you can't really see this because they kind of hide it, But this right here is a link, and it says download static HTML. So I'm going to be going into my host monster servers. Don't judge me. It has cPanel. I have about 30 websites up there, if not more. And some of my websites load at under 2 seconds, right? So I've got really fast servers over there, in my opinion. But I also have WP Engine. Now, the difference between this static and this raw, or this, I'm sorry, this dynamic and this static, or this raw HTML, is if I uploaded this, let's say, to my WP Engine, it's going to run off of my fast servers at WP Engine. But anytime I update the lead page, I would have to download the file again and FTP it to WP Engine. WP Engine does not have cPanel, so we're going to go with the cPanel files. So I'm going to download this dynamic HTML. Now what I do is I just do it onto the desktop. Since I do this so often, I just override that index file. The very first page is going to have to be an index file. So this page right here is an index file. Now you'll also notice if you're running cPanel and PHP, there's an index.php. So I usually rename that. And I don't want to get into all that, but if you have an index.php file, you want to rename that and then load up the index.html. So let's take a look at how to do that. So again, this is a lead page. We're going to go into my host monster. Now I have, all these things here, but I'm going to go into File Manager. When I click on File Manager, it's going to ask me to go up in there, right? It's going to open up a new page. I've already done that right here. So I have this public HTML and I have all these websites underneath it, okay? Now what I'm going to do is on this right-hand side, I'm going to find dramatically increased sales. And you'll notice I have an index file there. Now I also have one called, I probably deleted it, but there's one called index.php. I usually just rename that one, but what I did, I probably deleted it here because that's what I did. Now you can also see page 2 here. So we're going to do that one in a minute. So the way that we do this is we upload this file. We click on upload. And when I click on upload, I'm going to choose the file that I want to upload. And it's just on my desktop. And it's this index file right here. Come on now. Come to me, index file. Right? So it's going to be right there. And when I say open, it's going to say, do you want to override this file that's over there? When I say yes, then it will say, okay, it's been overridden. And it puts that file up onto my, up into here. And it will upgrade that. So then the next thing we want to do is this file that was page 1. I downloaded and renamed it index.html. Now I don't want to do that for this file. This is going to be page number 2. So I'm going to go Publishing Options, WordPress, and HTML. I'm going to download the dynamic, but I'm going to keep the name of this. So I'm actually going to just copy this. Okay. And then I'm going to download this file somewhere. I'm going to save it somewhere. And what I do is I save the name of that file, and I add the I add the domain in front of it with a / right there. And you'll notice that this is page 2, right? So that file and this is the same thing. So you'll see that this is the lead page itself, and this is what I want to be the thank you page. So then why did we make this link? Well, I'm glad you asked, because what we need to do in lead pages is we need to go into page 2. So I'm sorry, I just lied to you. We need to go into page 1 and make that the thank you page. And if you can just get this one little thing that I'm about to show you, you can make the best funnels in the whole planet. You could funnel up and just be an amazing funnel maker and make millions of dollars. And you could be like that 16-year-old kid that made $7 million in his first 6 months touching a mouse, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to edit this lead box, right? And in the lead box, when I come over here, you'll notice that I'm using dramatically increase sales, and I'm using that link that we created. I'm using that right here for the external. So I'm in page 1, and when they enter their name and email in there, it's going to go to page 2. So again, I'm not running domain masking. This may seem complicated, but it's not complicated at all. It's very simple if you're technical, and I'm talking only to technical people, not to people that write copy or anything. You have to think a certain way to really get this. Okay, so then now I would go back into my cPanel, and then I would say upload, and then I'd say choose file, and I would choose that file that I created, that I downloaded from LeadPages, right? For page number 2. But I would not name this index file, and I would upload, and you can see I have it uploaded right there. But I do not put the name of the domain right there. I just put the extension. So you'll notice this is to Eric Loff Home Sales Scripting Mastery video.html. Let's go back and watch the funnel happen. When I go to dramatically increase sale, this is the index file. When I click on download and put in the name. Now remember, this is going to page 2, or the thank you page, and this is where all funneling takes place. This goes to that HTML file, and now we're funneling up. And I can go 20 miles deep on this and make millions of dollars, and it's actually pretty fast considering. So that's kind of my take on how to do this with the lead page. So I hope that this helped anybody that was a little confused on how to bypass the domain masking and just run dynamic HTML for those of you that are just running a cPanel. And so for those of you that are really ninja, you can use the raw or the static HTML on your fast servers, and it will just be rip-roaring fast. Faster than any plugin, any ClickFunnels, any lead page, anything, because it's just raw HTML straight up on your servers, and it's not redirecting anywhere. Okay, so this is shown. Thank you for watching the complete video. I hope this helped. If you have any questions, feel free to ping me on social media. If you have my phone number, you can call me directly, or you can send me an email. Okay? So it's an honor and a privilege to be part of the Digital Marketer Partnership. I will see you guys at all of the traffic and conversions in the future, as long as they're in San Diego, because that's where I live. All right, you guys. All right, Ramblers. Let's get rambling. Have a great day.